Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ancient City Creatives, where we highlight the voices, stories, and talents that are shaping St. Augustine's vibrant creative scene. Each episode, we feature local artists, makers, performers, and innovators who bring fresh energy into the ancient city. I'm one of your co-hosts, Sophia Schroeder, and I am joined with
Ray George Young, and we are coming from the only podcast that is being produced in the ancient city. This is St. Augustine, and we have an amazing guest today. Today we have a writer, an actor, a painter, a very talented man, a Renaissance man, a modern one, and his name is Nick Vanvarenberg. And welcome to our show.
Welcome,
Thank
Nick.
you guys for having me.
It's an honor to be with you.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
I guess we'll just get started. You're an actor, a writer, an artist. Your career begins at 16 years old. What inspired you to start creating art?
Honestly, I always thought like graffiti was really cool. But like I didn't want to like get in trouble or anything. So I was like going down to Portland around that age, and I was just starting to like legal places, anything like abandoned, just like so I can get practice and stuff like that. And I would just mess around. And so I was like calling myself Vlader for a while. And then it evolved to Vlad. And I was a kid at this time, so I was just being an idiot. But I would do these cartoon characters, and my older brother, Christopher, he went to animation school. And he's kind of the one who showed me like the structure of like how to draw like hands and like faces and like that 1930s like rubber hose style where they're like bouncing every like quarter frame, like Mickey Mouse and all that. And I always thought that style was cool. And so I tried to do like, I sent you guys some of my stuff. It's, like on my art Instagram and stuff, but it's all kind of like based around like that rubber hose, like 1930s style. And so, I had so many stupid names that I was like going by like Vlader and then it just went to Vlad just because like I don't really know actually. I like Googled it when I was a kid, and it was like a graffiti name supposed to be like 4 to 5 letters, like like Bansky and like D-Face and all these dudes.
Like a tag.
So yeah, I just thought it was awesome like to spray on a big canvas, and I would always draw with my left hand because I'm left-handed, but like for graffiti stuff it was like my right hand, and it was just something new because it's just weird. Like,
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, that's odd.
I know, yeah. Like I throw a football with my right hand, but like everything else is, like I don't know. But it's
Right.
it's just cool because it's like something where like it's like your whole body movement. Like painting's a little bit of that, but you can like sit or whatever. But there's an extra thrill about it because like you're like kind of like checking around. Like even if it's an illegal spot, like people might be like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" If you're not paid to do it. And now, like, thankfully, like, I have, like, some clients that would supply, like, walls and like, their studio or whatever. And maybe if I come down there, I can put something up on your guys' wall if you want.
Maybe we'll take you up
Yeah,
on
of
that
course.
offer.
We just have to clear out the
Absolutely,
studio for a day because it's going to stink really bad. But unless you, yeah. But, yeah, so anyways, I was doing that for a while. And then, like, later on, I was I was trying to go to film school and stuff like that, but at the time, like like family history and stuff, and like my mom raised me with my stepfather at the time, Brian. He's the father of my youngest sibling, Maddie. They were like like go to like business school and stuff, and I had a little bit of addiction problems at that time, so I got into some trouble just being an idiot, but. Through that, I had to pay off some like a lot of lawyer fees and stuff, and so I started like taking art like a little seriously, a little more serious, and I was able to get some like galleries in some like pretty prominent places. That's actually how I met my wife way later on, and I sold like that year like upwards of like $38,000 to $40,000 worth of art, and like one of my
That is
the
wonderful.
first guy I sold to was he was the owner of Biscoff, like the little cookies.
Oh
And it
my
was like
gosh,
this
wow.
brain painting. And he's a great guy. He's like this big, I mean, I don't know, I hope he doesn't mind I'm talking about him, but he's like this big kind of fat dude, and he's like gold chains, and he's a gay guy, so he had his boyfriend there with him, and they were all like flashed out. And right away he walks in
Right.
and he like looked at this brain painting. I'll send you. It's a cool one. He looked at this brain painting. He bought it right
Yeah,
away.
I've seen that one. That one is pretty
In
cool.
my
Yeah.
heart, like, because I paid for the ticket and like I was already like screwed in debt. And it's like 5 grand to like 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 shipping art's like really expensive because there's insurances
Right.
and I had to just like customs. And so we did that gallery. It was at the Meridian Hotel in Hong Kong. And my buddy Richie, he's a crazy guy. He's a Canadian dude. He's a pro rollerblader, but he lives out there in China. So he came and met up with me and my other buddy who's also a pro rollerblader, but he's European. He came with, and so they
Right.
were doing already something, and we just all met. It was one of the coolest times ever. But anyways, when that first painting sold, I was like, flights paid for, shipping's paid for. So like I got a little drunk. I was like, woo. Um,
Yeah,
because I didn't
exactly.
think
Time
any,
to party.
I was like, how often, I was like, this is so stupid. Like, I don't even know. And like, me and my dad were he was pissed that I didn't tell him I was there. And he was like, my dad gets a little emotional. He's like, I'm going to burn your gallery down because you told me you weren't there.
Oh,
And my
goodness.
friends were like, I was like, no, 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 it's good. Like, this is just how we, and then, so, it was just all this daunting shit. And then stuff waiting for me back in the US. But I, we did really good in the gallery. And so I came back with like, I was able to pay off everything. And, it
It's
was good.
wonderful.
And so that's when I was like, all right, like, let's like buy
So,
some canvases. Cause it's weird to like, you feel weird when you're doing like any when you start something it takes a lot of faith like whether it's writing or like podcasts or art, you're like, what am I doing, and until you start to get a
absolutely. Yeah.
little like audience or just one other person to be like, hey, that's cool, man, and then
Right.
it help, if you like make little money off of it, then obviously like it inspires you to like, oh, all right, well, let's see where this maybe can go.
So I have a question
Yeah, of
for you,
course.
like regarding so you're inspired. I know exactly the cartoons you're talking about because I used to love to watch those black and
Yeah,
whites. The shape of the eyes and everything. I find them very entertaining, but also because of the technology at the time.
yeah,
So they had to. There wasn't a lot of dialogue, and they needed to obviously, you know, entertain you with
yeah.
images. And they had to make it comical. They had to make it in such a way that would keep your attention and everything. So I think you have embodied a lot of that spirit in your work. But like I wanted to ask you, like for instance, when you have created something that started like an idea in your mind that, oh, maybe this will look amazing this way or that way, and then somebody falls in love with it and wants to buy it, right? What kind of impact do you like? What do you feel as an artist? Is it a satisfaction of that you're created, what you have created is accepted, or is it something like a realization that I'm meant to be doing this? What's your take on that?
I'll tell you, like, if you know that artist like Alec Monopoly, for example, like I looked at a lot of his. I was looking at his because he was popping off on like Snapchat and Instagram at the time, and I was like 19 or something, and um, I I knew the type of art that would sell, so I would make that like Marilyn Monroe's, Bruce Lee with like cash in the background and that kind of stuff. And I knew that there was a market for it, but then I was like, this is not what like Bansky and like these dudes that I look up would do. It may take a little longer, so then I kind of like stopped doing that kind of stuff. Like I like doing like those characters and stuff like Mickey Mouse and incorporating, but it's like so many people do it and it's like pop art. And I was like, well, if it's not my character, like then what am I, this is just another scam, and like people, and I'm not talking shit about like the people who buy art, but like if you hear some of the stuff they say, like, like this medium is this, and then like me, I'm like, dude, I get the like $5 things at Walmart. Like you see the bristles of the paintbrushes in my paintings because they come off all the time. Because
That's the beauty of
it doesn't
originals.
even it doesn't matter. Like people, it's like no, like it doesn't matter. I mean, it helps a bit, like if you want to do line work with a paintbrush, then you have to get like something a little better. But the rest of the stuff, I was like, it's just another thing that like another language barrier that they try to like make you not feel intelligent or like, like insurance, doctors, they use these words and stuff. And I was like, nah, like it's nonsense. Like it's all relative, like
No.
it's the same. Yeah. So I would, I'm trying to do those like that bomb I sent you and that character with like the shapes exploding out of his head and stuff. Like those are my
Yeah, absolutely.
IP. Like I copyrighted them and stuff just because AI and they're cool. But so and they don't sell as much. But it's like my characters. Like it's not a regurgitation.
Yes, definitely. It's something like in any art form that the artist, if you create something to entertain yourself, chances are that your audience is going to take that journey with
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
right? So I see a lot of some of the pieces in your collection. I get that. I'm like, yeah, he got down into it. He enjoyed making it, So and it comes through, and that's the beauty of it. And in art, it comes through,
I actually
right?
there's the Santa Monica gallery I had it was a messengers gallery. It's great. It's on Main Street in Santa Monica. We sold some stuff, but if you don't mind me, I can actually grab. I'm at my mom's right now because I just had a baby and I need some help from the MVP because she's and my wife's friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have a
yeah.
church.
No worries.
But I have some of the paintings that didn't sell. I can actually bring one and show it if you want. It's that character with the shapes exploding out of its head. It's pretty sick.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
awesome.
You know. And
Absolutely.
it's just like like it's not like it's a simple message. Obviously, it's like people feel like that sometimes, like when anxiety or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, whatever's happening in your life. But like this is what I'm gonna try to focus on is like doing this and like maybe one day like a sculpture because that would be like wild. You see something like 3D and like like Cause or these guys and but yeah.
Some of your artwork already incorporates some of that depth. Like you add pieces to it that kind of like pop off the canvas,
Oh yeah.
right? In some of your artwork, absolutely. So I think you're already headed in that
So
direction
that's a
from
cool.
what I saw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I don't have any of those here. Those go quick though, but they're really hard to do. So like um I cut out like pieces of wood like for like one of these shapes, for example, or like if you saw like there's this really cool like Dumbo one that with like pills and stuff everywhere, and like that stuff sells quick, like Disney and drug. Like
Yeah.
people are like sick, and it
Yeah.
sells, but it's like you kind of feel like
Right.
like I don't know, you feel like a porn star after, so you're like like I could
It's the
yeah,
juxtaposition.
and
Yes.
but like but anyway, so like we cut out like a piece of wood, and then I use acrylic, and I do like I'll paint it whatever it's supposed to be, and then use acrylic on it, and then I just cut out like these little plastic pucks, like about this long, and some are this long, so then you have kind of like a thing. And I haven't seen any other artists
Yep.
do that yet, so I was like, oh, sick, like maybe I onto something here. But then I like just lay it
Absolutely.
on, with the puck behind it. And then I re-acrylic or re-resin like the canvas, and then the resin's so strong, like it just sticks.
And that kind of leads us into what you just described. We were talking with Sophia, like a lot of times we kind of ponder upon the fact of like how does AI affect artists, right?
Yeah.
So what were you thinking about that?
Well, you did mention it very briefly of just like, especially with the kind of work that we've seen and that you do with, pop art references and maybe taking influence or inspiration from types of genres that, you have original work, but it might necessarily, someone can correlate it to
Of course.
something in the past and, and then, bring it forward on whatever kind of your spin is on it. But are there any disruptions or challenges that you face in the upcoming of AI when you make your art? Whether that's, the actual physical process of making your art, or maybe just even, marketing it, selling it, distributing it.
So yeah, like so art in general, I think is that any like I'm happy to be a part of it, or as much as I can and stuff, but I think like it's it's just a community making another thing like a tangible asset. And since like humans have like money laundering, it's like since humans have a connection with art from like past and like Renaissance to it's physical. So it's like, all right, so this is this amount of money, and then like a rich group of friends will like build up an artist, and like it'd be awesome to be like one of those artists that's lucky enough to um you know profit from that. But they buy up all their art as a group, and it's no secret, it happens all the time. And then the artist like profits a good amount because he just sold all of his stuff. But then this group of friends will like they'll host an event with their connections and their wallet, and then they'll raise the price of the art, and then they'll just resell it, and they just created a new artist. So it's like anything else. Like it's like, do you guys know the story of like Mr. Brainwash? The guy who
I don't think
there's
so.
a big art gallery in Beverly Hills with the cars on the side. So this gentleman,
Oh, I got you.
yeah, he was working for Bansky, or there's a really good documentary about it called Exit Through the Gift Shop. And it's basically this gentleman was the first guy he approached Bansky to try to make a documentary, and he was also a graffiti artist, but he wasn't anywhere near like Bansky's level. And he basically like used Bansky's name he started making like digital art. So he would like print a picture of like Marilyn Monroe with like the bubble gum or whatever. And he had like a team of like college kids like around the 90s, 2000s, like making these, like it was like a picture of roses, black and white, and then he would splash some paint on it, Mr. Brainwash, and then like he got one, like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt bought one for like 1.2 million, and it was just one snowball. And Bansky himself, like he's an anonymous guy, but he was like, this is the last time I ever help like anyone, because I just created a fake. I mean, like LA's full of people that like are either have talent or they want to be next to talent so they can like take photo, and it's just, I mean,
Right.
the line,
Absolutely.
the line is it's hard to see where the line is drawn, because once somebody has credibility and they're famous for something, because whatever, today's world, you can whatever, then it's just hard to distinguish like who's a Jedi and who's a Sith, you know what I mean? Very deceptive. So
You could tell by the lightsaber. No, I'm
yeah,
just
exactly.
kidding.
So but it's just like, like AI is always, it's not going anywhere. Like and like AI should, it's like we created a god, but we're using it to like draw pictures and stuff, because the real jobs it should be doing are like accounting, like lawyer,
Right.
politicians.
Streamlining.
That's what it's made
Yeah.
for. But they're pushing it on different industries because the powers that be, they're like, no, we don't want our jobs taken. So we're gonna put it on, and it's it's like using a god to like power a well when it could be powering like the White House and the city. I don't know. That's how I feel. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's
Yeah, well, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think that AI is it might help bridge that gap for people who don't have the tools or resources to make the kind of whatever kind of art they want to.
yeah, which is great.
When it comes, yeah, of course. But it's not a necessity. But what do you think is a must-have for either, I mean, really any artist, but specifically for you as a painter or a 3D pop artist?
Like in a must-have for like what AI could be used for?
Oh no, just a must-have outside of AI, if anything, honestly.
Oh.
Those other, whether that's like actual physical tangible things,
Yeah.
or maybe just an attitude
Oh, I don't know.
when it comes
Like
to
art?
creating art.
Like like just like doodling, and just don't. You know what the biggest thing is? Like we tell ourselves things are like wastes of time all the time. Humans are really good at that. We're down on ourselves. So like,
that's-
and it's like when you're like well, everything's a waste of time. Like we should be exploring space and stuff, but we're like fighting. I mean, whatever. We have amazing technology. It's just like
I love how big
baffled.
of a dreamer
Well,
you
yeah,
are.
sorry, but no,
That's
but yeah, we try to like push ourselves down, and it's like some survival mechanism from like thousands of years, and it's just to try to combat that, you know. Like if you're playing video games or something, like okay, that's like a little different, but like unless you're like streaming, you know, and you're if that's your passion, like whatever, you know, I love video games. But like yeah, just try to be nice to yourself because that's the hardest thing. I mean, maybe other because the world's already like effed up enough, and also try not to listen because like everyone's gonna like talk shit, and like especially like now, like it's you know AI, like you know we bait.
It's all out
Yeah,
there.
and it's just like someone like you guys mentioned earlier, but I heard a quote from someone. I don't know who it was. It was just like just doom scrolling, and I saw it, and he was like, "Don't try to like don't try to change the world. Just try to make your own world and invite people to be a part of it if they want to." And I was like, "Oh, that's a great
That's
Wow, I
wonderful.
love
thing
That's
that.
to
great.
you
That's
know." And
great.
I was just thinking, I think it was Orson Welles or someone like that, but I thought that was great. That really helped me out. So I've been, you know, I think about that and just, yeah, I think that's a good way to sum it up.
So you kind of reminded me of something that I always found fascinating in artists. Well, artists themselves are always very tormented because of having to create is more of a necessity than it is a luxury, right? So the creative process for you, is that something that you find it to be like a compulsion or a need to express, or is some people say, well, no, it comes easy to me. To others, it's like I need to do it or else I don't feel
I'm
well.
not, I'm
You
not like
know
talking down
how?
on people who say stuff like that, but like, I, I think like the tortured artist that doesn't exist. I don't. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there who are like you know like been because I've been through some shit, you know, and like I'm.
Right.
It's just like, dude, like I don't know, like try working in. I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't buy into that stuff. I mean like yeah, like maybe like but you know, I don't think there's any like I have to or like you know like I just don't like that drama and like because I you know I grew up in like around film and stuff and a lot of just narcissism and ego and like I have no say in that kind of stuff just because like you know the powers that be the most the loudest voice has the most media attention and a lot of the times like those people in your life are just not as
Continue.
intelligent as like everyone thinks they are and they can just say whatever they want and that's what is because they said it you know and that's a big so yeah but I don't know like I don't think I don't buy into that stuff like tortured artist kind of stuff you know it's just it's fun dude like you should be so grateful that you're even like dude like go work so, you know like
That's awesome.
yeah like
That's great.
so my wife knows this is a gentleman named Abudia and he's a great artist and he's from like the Congo and he came from like a village and he gives 80% of all of his art back to like where he came from and I'm trying to get him to paint one of my bombs like he did a commercial for Pepsi he like sold out when I met him he sold out his whole gallery he's like bro I just sold like $2.1 million in art and I was like but like
It's
the
amazing.
group that he
Very
was
good.
talk like he was like dude like and I'm not he's a great artist he's like very like Basquiat kind of style but the media paints it like
Mm.
yeah you know he comes from this village and he's like just you know he's like
Yeah.
no dude like yeah of course I come from there but like I he's like I'm not like he's like it just happened like it was you know I was just doing art and I kind of knew like you know, I was using my own story and you know, he's like smart guy and I was like it's there's always like there's like two stories always, you know, and like but it's marketing at the end of the day and like if that didn't exist, then we wouldn't be able to like push these products and artists and stuff like that, I think, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's fun.
Yeah, it's like with Da Vinci, if he hadn't been convinced, called upon to do projects, I don't think we would know who he
Yeah.
is. He was commissioned for almost
Yeah.
everything that he did,
Yeah. But they
So
even
yeah,
say
definitely.
like for Da Vinci, like because like we have to like justify someone being that smart. I think that's why we do that. Like it's like, oh
Right.
yeah, but you know they're like he dissected people, and I was like, well, you know, I think you like if you had a beer with him, I'm sure he'd be like yeah, dude, you know, they call me like this and that, but
Yeah.
I'm like it's most people are normal, you
Absolutely.
know.
Well, we've talked a little bit about your career and your passions and your story about being an artist, a painter, and sculptor at that. But we do know that you are developing in the cinema space. Where do you feel most comfortable as an artist, as an actor, as a director,
Um,
all of the above?
like quite a few scripts, just like and I've like doctored scripts, like mostly like cheesy action films, like where like the first piece of dialogue would like they knock someone out and be like, "Check, please," and I was like, "Are you like who?" But they use these writers' names because they're big before,
Yeah.
and
You're
but
right.
you know I won't get credit for that. So like they would give me like a role or something, and where I was supposed to be like just killed off in the first scene, then I would like make a deal that I would get paid that way, but I can't be credited because then it's not like Sony's writer and like stuff like that. So I really like do not
I
want to
got you. Yeah.
like they tempt everyone with like a role. That's like the thing because like they're like, well, we can count on everyone wants to be famous and I was just like I'd rather just write and direct and be kind of just like behind the camera because I've had like I've had like three projects that and like it doesn't work out a lot of the times, but like I've had three projects like sabotaged by like and I just don't want to go into all that, but like by family members and just because of like egoism and like I can't say anything about it because if I do, then I have like fans coming out like how could you do and it's shitty because and I know evil that's been done by these people before like really bad stuff and I mean I'm not it's just I can't fight yeah like pre-existing yeah anyway so I really like not to piss people off I don't want to like be like in front of the cameras as I can be but like I've been like the roles I do I've been told like I did it good. I mean, I think I don't know. Like it's always like a Bosnian Russian accent as a
Yeah.
bad guy. So like what acting is.
Yeah, but I happened to watch a movie that you were in, and I enjoyed your performance. It was
Oh yeah,
good.
that's.
It was a good performance.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah.
and I didn't know you before then, so
Well,
so you pulled it
I'm
off.
trying to
It
do
was pretty
like
good.
I had this script called like Garbage Man, for example, and it was like about like way in the future where like atmospheric. It sounds cheesy, but it's cool. Wait, like atmospheric garbage now cluttering up like all the orbit spaces. So there's orbit levels like 1 through 8 for like ad space, like apartments, like government, whatever. And it's just these guys and girls who have like like short lifespans because they're traveling. So they like smoke cigarettes, they drink. It's very rough, like realistic, like how
Very
like a
gritty.
construction site. Like if you took someone from the 50s and like gave them a concept of the future, they'd be like, "Woo," like flying cars. But if you actually showed them a microwave
Yeah.
in the
Right.
they'd be like, oh, like this is it. So it's very like construction
Oh,
feeling, and so
exactly.
it was, like stuff like that, and like I started to try to write like cheaper, like where like one or two locations, like we had this script called L'Oublié I did with my brother about it's kind of dumb, but they wanted to fund it, and it's like a upside down wine glass, and they would just toss people in there, like in like 786. So like the whole movie's like one location, and
Yeah.
then I had this other one like where
There you
like a
go.
Texan, like a Texan, like it's during like 2014 in Syria. So like basically like a military guy in a it's called the Cub of Caliphate, but it's very like triggering, obviously, like a Syrian suicide bomber and a
Right.
Texan get like they
Wow.
fall into a hole together after RPG misfires, and like the guy gets like a piling stake through his leg, so he's like nailed to the floor, and the kid has like a cement block on
Oh
him,
wow.
and he goes to like detonate, and the guy goes to shoot him, and then because of the fall, the fuse is blown, so the kid's shoulder catches on fire. The guy's gun is jammed, and they're just sitting there. And so it's a survival story between the Syrian kid and this American, and it's a great script, and everyone wanted to do it, and they were like, "Whoa, we got to change. Like, can't be Syrian." He's like, "No one will ever." And so stuff like that. But then I had stuff like close to production, and then just because one thing of my like family member like, nah, like it sucks, and I've had that. I'm not gonna go into all that, but it's I've really like my siblings and I have always been kind of like pushed down, just because like we can have something, but like not like peace. I don't know. I don't want to. It's just a lot of egoism in that industry. So that's why I want to stay away from acting and kind of be more of a storyteller if I can, you know. So I'm yeah. So I'm just
So on that subject, storytelling. Let me, if you had to write the perfect script, like something that you really really like, what genre do you think is something that you prefer? Like as far as a genre.
uh I don't sci-fi is cool, man. Like I love sci-fi stuff. But like well just because like at some point like we're gonna run through all of human history and then um you know, we will run out of stuff. I mean, you can always shoot it in like a different way and like, you know, different perspective. But sci-fi is just always like it's an open-ended book. You know, you can do whatever you want. Um,
Yeah, your mind's the limit.
yeah, like because you could. I mean, look at the state of
Absolutely.
things. Like, it could happen. Anything could happen. You know. Um,
Anything could happen. That's
but
true.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I like sci-fi a lot. I think it's cool. Like I just watched Severance, dude. Like, cause I my cousin logged in.
Mm.
Ooh, great
Yeah.
Great
show.
concept. I was like, oh shit, man, that's good. And yeah, I mean, like, you know, I'm probably late to that party, but yeah, I just got the Apple, but I watched everything else. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, sci-fi's cool. Do you guys like sci-fi or what? What are you guys fans of? If I know,
My very first, what was your very first movie, sci-fi movie that
Oh,
you
very
can like?
first sci-fi. Probably
Yeah,
E.T. would be
yeah,
my
E.T.'s
guess.
great.
Like
there you go.
when I was a kid, which it used to creep me out. His little finger. I was like, get that off of my
My little
TV.
sister had that same
Um,
thing, and I was like, "You're scared of ET?" I was like, "ET's your friend."
why is he so
Yeah,
wrinkly? I just don't
he
get
hated his
it.
long neck.
But I do. Yeah,
Exactly.
when it comes to sci-fi, I do love the blend of sci-fi and
Yeah,
horror.
Yeah,
So, like
A24.
Nope, oh my
Oh
gosh,
yeah,
like the
yeah,
reimagining of what an alien could be and like what that looks like,
yeah.
and even the cinematography of that movie is also
it's great.
amazing.
Yeah, Jordan Peele, he's a
But sci-fi,
amazing guy. I mean,
he is
yeah, he's a
a
beast.
beast.
I mean, yeah, I look up to that guy a lot. I'm glad you meant, yeah, like Get Out, like that script. I mean, I don't know how long he worked on that, but
Mhm.
I mean, that's a fucking bomb concept.
And very similarly,
Yeah,
he also like started, in front of the screen, like Key and Peele comedic work
Yeah,
and stuff. And now he really just focuses on his production company, maybe for the same reasons as you, but I can definitely see like, when it comes to the actual business, the passion that you have for that kind of career maybe getting lost in translation because now all of a sudden it has a monetary value
yeah,
to it.
yeah,
And when you're able to direct instead of getting directed, you have more creative
more
yeah,
freedom,
freedom.
more
exactly.
Absolutely,
freedom, which if, to
absolutely.
me, of course, is going to be more fulfilling than someone saying cut in action and telling me how my inflection needs to be a little bit better,
That's
for
why I
sure.
love indie
Yeah,
film because
exactly.
of that. Because you could create the story you want, and usually it takes about one or two phone calls or one or two emails to decide what's going to be done. It's not like you have to sit like in a corporate environment where you would have to sit and go back and forth for any little approval or
Yeah,
any budgetary constraint or what have you. But it kind of makes you think outside the box, simply because you're like, okay, what's my budget? And you look at the bank account, you're like, that is my
yeah,
budget. So now I have to tell a story with that. That's why the international cinema does so well, is because there is no mega budgets in abroad. So they have to do what they have. Somebody gives them a little bit to do it to realize that project and see it through its fruition, and
yeah.
then you get some amazing Oscar-winning movies that come out of countries that don't have the resources or the infrastructure to do like mega productions
Yeah,
and
for
stuff.
sure. Like India, I mean, like that was like Hollywood, like back in the 50s, where they like jump sets and they like knocking out like crazy amounts of film. But like
Hmm.
it should, it's kind of like I don't know the state of the like from just what I've seen, like it's like why like for production and stuff and producers like where a budget starts at like 2 million or something and then it ends up being like $700,000 and then the director and like everyone's like scrambling around and they're stealing and it's like well like
Yeah.
there's rich people there's so many ways to make money like you can do real estate you can and it's like why come in here and like because people are trying there's a lot of people who are trying
Exactly.
to do like good things and it's annoying because
Hmm.
you know it's so they're just tracking mud on the floor, and it's like because they want to be next to celebrity, and I get it, like everyone gets that, but
Yeah.
it's like at a point it's like okay, like how far are we gonna take this now? Like it's because we're churning out films, like people are like crazy, like Netflix and all these companies, and
And there's something that Sophia tells me all of the time, which is nothing is ever written is rewritten,
This
right?
is true. History repeats
yeah,
itself.
There's
that's a
only
good
so many
point.
ways so many stories that
Yeah,
exist. It's just how you tell them. It becomes the craft is how you tell the same story, but differently.
it's like
Uh, and
yeah,
that's
it's like you can reinvent the wheel or you can make it roll better. Those are the two options in life. And
exactly
you're 100% right. I think I agree with that. Is and like for like movie nerds, like when you see new stuff and people freak out about it, you're like, nuh-uh, like they're copying, da 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 from 1970, da da
exactly.
da. And it's like, yeah, but like they're capturing a whole new audience and they're selling it, and it's like, yeah, like you could
Right.
say that about a lot of things too. And I'm with you, like
There's
100% right. But like, when you see something truly original, it just like Squid Games or something like that, like Running Man, that already
oh
existed,
yeah,
but in a way that's
exactly.
scary. And yeah, so it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah,
It's and it's like there's a very successful series which I won't mention, but it kind of like you get nosebleeds when you're watching it. But uh, you look at every element in that series, and you're like, wait a minute, that was from ET, that was from
yeah, exactly.
So it's yeah, because people are like, oh yeah, yeah, I remember that, and it makes it successful because of that. But it's also like, I guess marketing becomes an art form in
Yeah,
itself.
of course.
You know,
Well, because
how to reach the masses
because
creatively,
you're writing
without selling out the fact that you're creating something.
exactly. Yeah, it's like because then it's like like it's just trying to like that part of your brain is obviously active. Like when you're doing a project, like you think about like, oh, this will be cool for whatever. But and that's totally okay. That's awesome. Like you want to see like shout outs
Right.
to like because like you got to be inspired from somewhere. Like like it has to come
Absolutely.
from like I mean,
Absolutely.
like I love the Coen brothers. Like they're like my favorite all time directors. I think they're incredible. Like like cartoony a little bit, um, but like just amazing. Like
Absolutely.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Like it has to come from somewhere, I guess. Um,
So I guess I want to ask you a question. Like every artist needs dreams and inspiration. So what like if you wake up in the morning, you're like, wow, yeah, something that got you going. You're like, man, I love the fact that I'm a creative. I love the fact that I'm an artist.
I
What would it
I
be?
keep jumping to. I got a problem with that. Like I gotta try to like wrap up stuff when I jump to new like ideas and stuff, and then I'll like
Hmm.
stop paint. Like I haven't painted something in like a year, um, but I gotta get back. But like because I was trying to start a business with my buddy for like AI integration for small businesses and stuff, and like I was to make money because I got a newborn and stuff. But like I need to like focus.
And
Yeah,
congratulations, by
thank
the
you
way.
so much. Yeah, she's sleeping. She's so cute. Her name's Ava. But
Oh,
yeah,
There you
she's
go.
adorable. Um, yeah, but I don't know, like ADD or something. I don't know what to call that. I probably just drink too much coffee. But like I'm very split-minded. So like I like to, like I'm writing this project for this gentleman. He lives in Kelso, and his family was like all these like big loggers and stuff like that. It was like one of the biggest mills, and so we wanted to do a story about it. So I'm writing like episodes for him right now. I have like two episodes called Sawdust City. It's a little popcorny, but you wanted it kind of
ooh,
like that,
Sounds good.
and it's like because like the people moved in, and once all the timber mills were there was like, I'm adding like a layer of like the mafia, like Portland, like there was a mayor, like a corrupt mayor,
Right,
and like
right,
because prohibition was in effect, but all these loggers wanted to get drunk and like prostitution and stuff like that because there was like a lot, like we would come
right.
back from the mill and like logging, and it was like a ton of customers that was like unheard of,
Yeah,
for that area. So anyways, it's about that. And so like I was doing that, but
a great story, man.
yeah,
it's
super
cool. Yeah,
fun. Super different
it's like
too.
episode two. I mean, like with his permission, like I can't say too much about it because whatever.
No, absolutely.
Um,
No, we
but like,
understand.
stuff is just like as it comes along. Like, what's the next thing is like just like everyone else, like what you see could be working and like time. Like unfortunately, like humans, we don't have that much time on Earth, so we kind of got to like start
Yeah.
to think about, and that sucks. But like, because there's so much
Yeah.
you could do, and it's you got to start to like subjugate your mind in like one direction or another. But so I was like, all right, like I love film and I love art and like music. I play a lot of music, but I don't like record stuff. But yeah, I was like, all right, like that makes me happy, so I'm gonna try to, if I can, like do that. Um,
Oh
so
yeah.
anything that's related.
When it comes to the Oh yeah, when it comes to the creative spaces, you are quite multifaceted. Sounds like you do quite a bit of everything. And you mentioned your beautiful daughter that you now are a father. Has this impacted how you think about your work process and your legacy? Our creations outlive us; they will be there after we are gone. How does that impact what you create now, and also, what that might represent for you as a father now?
Yeah, I mean, like yeah, I just like yeah, I want her just to learn like some instruments and like, but like also like I don't want to like. I think it's really important for kids to like to. I think it's important for parents to pay attention to what their kids are interested in because if like I wish I had a little more of that just because like I had to circle around to find because people were putting me in, like certain area, like can't do this because that's bad because this happened before with your family. So, da da da, that's not good. And I was like,
Right.
well, it's not because of art. Like, it's not because of any industry. It's just because of weak people that were influenced by it, and then I was affected by, whatever. So like, yeah, I don't know. I just want her to be safe, obviously, and like, but whatever she's interested in, like that's unless she's like juggling knives and be like, I'm gonna be a knife juggler. Then I'm gonna be like, oh, well, like here's a helmet and like some oven mitts.
Maybe let's pivot. Let's
But
pivot.
yeah, exactly.
Then I go ahead and buy the
Like
mittens.
nothing should be dangerous. Like in opinionative stuff, like
Right.
that just irks me. But like that, we're getting more and more open. Like parents, oh, we shouldn't do. Oh, and it's like because their own inflictions of what they suffered before they try to push that on, and that's just like not healthy, you know. So it's just I think parents should pay. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna try to do that to like just pay attention to what she's into and like the things that she's passionate about. Give more attention because like when someone gets like oh they like whatever it is, then they want to continue it because like the first thing is your parents, and if you don't receive like accolades in some form or another, it's dampering, and then you look for it other ways, and that's what it is.
So as you continue on through your creative journey, your role as a father, um, creatively, what medium do you feel as if you are going to move forward with, if any? You're probably head under heels with a child. But for the future, what are you looking forward to? What are you wanting to make happen creatively, and what impact do you hope that leaves?
I would love to like get some of my projects out there, but not just like as like a writer. Like I want to like Jordan Peele and like these guys, like these women, and to
Right.
yeah, just to like do my own, even if so I'm gonna try to like save up some cash, do like art or like I do some other stuff, but to like direct my own little like short films and stuff, and in hopes to like get funding for like you know like full length films and stuff like that that I would like to do just because like it's like the film and like it's like asking someone for like there was Orson Welles again. He was like,
Yeah.
imagine asking some guy for $20 million or like to like 7 million at the time, and he was like, and then you tell them to fuck off for a year. Like and they
Yeah, it's pretty much yeah.
it's crazy.
It's in the nature of the
Yeah, and
business
now with
sometimes. Yeah.
streaming
You got to do what you got to
yeah,
do.
exactly. It's like not like theater releases anymore, so it's like there's like even a bigger chance that they won't make the money back. But yeah,
Yeah, so
I love story.
it was funny that reading an article. Maybe you saw it too, that they did like a market study on feature films, and they determined that if you do them ultra low budget or very high budget, they make money.
Yep.
Anywhere in the middle, you lose money.
That's exact. Dude,
It
so
tanks. Yeah.
this guy, so that Santa Monica gallery, this guy came and he was a producer. So I was like, oh, like I'm Jeff. Maybe I shouldn't give his name because that's not. But he's like a big,
Protect the innocent
yeah,
and
like
the
an
guilty.
older dude, and like, and I like recognize him from like, I was like, oh, cool, like he's here, like, so I like try to like pitch him some stuff, and he basically just like texts me, and he was like, look, he's like, unless the budget's over like this amount, like what you just said, like this amount of money, he's like, I can't make money off it because they just push so much into it, and they take some of that money back,
Right.
and the producers like split it, and then and then like you got like
Yeah,
the
it doesn't make
like
any
Art
money.
the Clown, like Terrifier, like that, and it's great. I mean, like what I mean, it's whatever you want to say about it, but they did that first Terrifier movie for like, I think it was like 45 grand or like 100 grand or something like that, and it was all one location.
Yeah.
So it's like I've written like a lot of like few location, like whatever you want to, like an escape pod, like in space, he gets like blown out, and like it's just the whole movie.
Yeah,
Surviving in an escape
don't need
pod.
much. You need a great story.
Exactly, like Ryan Reynolds in that
Absolutely.
Buried Alive movie. He's like he helped produce. I mean, he's very smart, but they did that for like the budget was like $1 million, but like I don't think they didn't spend anywhere near that. And it's just
Catering.
it's just him, yeah, exactly. Sushi every day, and he's just in a box.
Exactly.
But it's great. I mean, it's entertaining. So like it's kind of just, you got to make your way in, and once you have like one thing you're known for, then you can kind of do what you want. But people will try to, because they'll see that that's coming, and they will like try to block you because it's like nah, like fuck this guy, he thinks it's straight, it's like corrupt cops, like you are you with us, before we hire you, and oh, I don't know, because there's some bad stuff that happens in Hollywood, and it's
But that's the beauty of that the industry is decentralizing in a
Yeah.
lot of ways, and that's wonderful.
Which is great.
That's the greatest thing that could have happened to
Yeah.
anything,
and that's cool.
because now you're gonna hear and see and learn about stories that you would have never
Yeah.
heard or seen or anything like that. You're gonna have so much information at your fingertips and to see on your screens, because of now the storytellers get this. They don't need massive budgets to tell a good story.
And it's not safeguarded by like the
some
same
of-
circle. It's like it's breaking their links, and they can't really do anything about it because Hollywood, like international, it's like we shoot all the films in like Kiev or like Romania and like stuff like that, and like budget
Absolutely.
reasons. But then like you have these like diamonds in the rough that come out of nowhere, and it's just, I mean, it's badass. It's cool.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
those dudes, the Softy brothers, like Uncut Gems, and like, I mean, amazing stuff. But like stuff like that, like
Oh, for
they have these
sure.
niches, and they can. I mean, I don't know. So I think, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because audiences I'm Hispanic, and there's sometimes the market assumes what a Hispanic audience is supposed to
Yeah.
like.
Exactly.
Right. But there's so many countries that you could consider them to be Hispanic,
Yeah, of course.
right? But they're culturally different, very different. Customs, so just the way they express themselves. So in English, I think if I'm not mistaken, there's about 32 markets that are in English for anything that you produce. So you could try to generalize, oh, this audience is going to like it, and maybe you fall short because you're not considering that some of those countries that do see you in your language may not understand what story you're telling, because you're assuming that the audience is going to take it a certain way
And
versus enjoying the storytelling process, because I think that's what makes it relatable at a human level.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And it goes beyond country borders and that kind of thing.
Well, because then it comes down to like their marketing budget too, and it's like, because that stuff, there's a lot of hardworking like yourselves and A lot of like hardworking filmmakers, but they put like they put all their money and effort into the project itself, and then the people with the most money have the loudest voice, so then they can push. And it's like, oh, that's what everyone's watching, but it's like, no, like that's what's being marketed the most. But like,
That's what's being
I don't want
pushed,
to see
right?
like I don't like I and but I'm not gonna look. Everyone like we're looking for a movie, and like so you just go to the top 10, and those spots are paid for, and it's like like some of them are great, like great, but like there's a lot of corruption in that too, and like um, but yeah, like Guillermo del Toro, like with Pan's Labyrinth, like that was all in Spanish and it was in
Hmm.
Spain, but it was so like whoa, like it didn't matter where the guy was
Absolutely.
from.
The storytelling
Yeah, it was
behind
just
it.
nuts.
Absolutely.
And I like Guillermo del Toro too. I think I like play Death. I don't know if you guys like video games like Death, like Hideo Kojima. Like Death Stranding 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just played that. And, like Guillermo del Toro's it, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, what the hell? Like as a character, and like he had Ellie Fanning and all these celebrities, and but yeah. Anyways, but yeah, like you're right. Like that. If it's a, it doesn't even matter if the project's powerful. So that, but then sometimes it might get pushed under because like it is good and they know it's good, so they're like, oh, well, like we didn't make it. And
Yeah, that happens also in the music
yeah,
industry. Sometimes where if two artists are too similar, where they might be competing in the marketplace, you have some of those shenanigans
yeah,
go on that,
Oh, for sure.
and
yeah,
that's sad. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know about, but I
absolutely.
hear some crazy music,
Yeah.
and I don't know anything about the music industry. I just like hear, like everyone else, but it's not that. It sounds like very similar to like the film industry, but just it's quicker to make music because you go to the studio, you get the producer on, you can make like a track like four songs in like a day, so like faster production and stuff means like people can get away with stuff.
That's AI.
Yeah,
AI
exactly.
is helping out in many process.
So
Yeah,
at least like
absolutely.
film, there's still a process, but like it's getting because like AI, like I mess with it, like I try to do my own stuff, but it's like there's like certain camera angles and stuff that you can it'll probably be there soon, but like to describe like the shots and stuff the way you want it, like I guess you could give it like a rough storyboard and then like pictures of the
Right.
actors, and that would probably be the best process for filmmaking in the future. That's probably what's going to happen is like we'll just storyboard it, give it to AI, and then they'll shoot it for us, and then um you know so it's happening.
I don't want to imagine.
It's coming, man. But I mean, yeah, but like,
Yeah,
I
yes.
can't stop
It's knocking
it.
at the door.
I
Yeah,
would if I
yeah, me
could.
neither.
Um,
Maybe so. It's maybe Sophia. She has some
all
superpowers.
right.
She has-
I don't know what they are.
Light them on fire with your mind.
Well,
No, but I mean,
I'll
it's
try my
not
best.
bad. It's just I don't think, I mean, like, why put AI in the art industry when all right, so like there's this gentleman named Robert Hickman, and I don't want to be talk but he's an awesome guy, a great guy, and he like worked with Mike Tyson a lot to form Tyson Ranch. And so anyways, see, he was on the board of IBM, and I was talking to him. I was trying to do something like set my dad up with Tyson, but like he like started a fight with, and he got kicked out, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, and anyways, not important. So this guy he was one of the board members on IBM, and he was telling me like crazy stuff. And this is before like AI. And I was like, what? He's like, oh my God. So we have this AI called Watson, and it's cured cancer like 13 times by like uploading all the statistics because it was a test, whatever. So they had like certain countries would give access to medical records, and so they would like if you have like a rash or something, they would just compare it statistically, like from every other patient of what it most likely was, and like 98% of the time it was correct. It was just comparing, but like then the country's like, well, we don't want to give our patients medical records, and so they would like tell the you see, like they're trying to steal your medical records, and it's like, well, like you're painting that in a fucked up light because like if I have a tumor, I would want to know it's a tumor before I have to do like all this invasive surgery and all this stuff. And it can like easily figure, it's with the insurance, and now it's starting to crumble because it's
Right.
people are like, whoa, like that's what it should be being you know, like anything you want, like all the simple jobs where people get paid a lot of money to like do nothing is what AI should be used, like politicians, you know, like big law firms, like you know, like entertainment lawyers and like all that nonsense. I mean, you know, you got to make money, but but it's like, you know, there's a line. Like, let's give a little more credit to like the engineers and like doctors and like all like X-ray, CAT scans. Those are invented by physicists. Those are not invented by doctors. They don't even know how it works, but they'll push it on people to get those machines paid for, you know. And then the physicists who actually invented those things, they just got bought out, and then they didn't make any money off of the machines. It's like Tesla. He's like auctioning off his I mean, that's insane. Like he invented the grid, you know, that we all use today, and he was like, yeah, it's gonna fail eventually, but it'll work for a while, you know. And then he finished. I mean, whatever. But now I'm going on the crazy shit. But it's wild. It's and I think because of AI, it's like people will realize more and more like, okay, like this is like with it, hopefully with like AI assistance, if it's like not, if it like we can try to make it untouched by like companies to influence it in certain ways. I think more people will start to realize, like this newer generations, that like yeah, like, you know, like we're coming for you guys because it's the state of the world is not, you know, how it should be, and yeah, with that assistance.
Correct.
So it's just kind of up to us of how you know, the next world war is going to be about like information, you know, because Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
and it's like we got to educate. Yeah, it's just we just have to educate like of how to distinguish things. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. It's fucking,
Yes.
it's getting wild. Like what you can imagine, you know, but sometimes maybe we go too far in our heads because we hear like a simple concept and we like blow it into like, oh, well, what if, you know? So maybe not. Like,
Right.
you know, I think
It's our creative minds.
yeah. Right.
It's our
Instead,
creative. Also, Nick, I wanna thank you very much for your gracing us with this
Oh,
interview.
thank you for having me.
We have had an amazing interview with you today, and we're looking forward to seeing a lot of your art, especially like we're gonna plug in your socials for the
Okay,
show.
cool.
The audience is gonna get to see all of the artwork that you have shared with us
Yeah.
as of now. And guess what? You're now an official guest of La Casa Studios.
Nice.
So you're welcome back any single time that you want to come and join us to have a conversation. We will be elated to share share the space.
Yes, sir. Yeah, guys. Thank you guys so much for having me and taking the time to talk with me. And yeah, I think it's awesome. You guys have a great, and I love the setup too. I don't know how I was saying that before the camera was rolling or we were live or whatever, but it's awesome what you guys put together. So
Thank you.
You know, I wish you guys the best.
Thank you.
We appreciate
No,
that.
it's awesome. And yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to maybe possibly working together in the future with you guys for, you know, gallery
Absolutely.
or whatever.
Absolutely.
My sister was born in Florida. My older sister, I have 3 sisters. But yeah, I went to St. Augustine a few times, and yeah, it's just awesome. I like all the
Oh, there you go.
pirate stories, and you know.
You can drop in on us anytime.
Yeah, I will.
Yep.
I will. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much, Nick.